Hello and welcome to the lecture series on railways, harbour tunneling and airport for the subject code 18CV645, module 4, session 8, parking and circulation area. So in this session we are going to cover about parking and circulation area and references. So what exactly the parking? So in airport has been concerned, we are going to be having a parking of two vehicles. One is a vehicles with respect to the passengers or the it may be of a two-wheelers or a car which is going to be parked. So apart from that one, parking of an aircraft is also going to be taken into account. So parking is going to be necessary because whenever we are going to be having a time to rest or to have a motor vehicle to be in journey, or when the passengers are using from their residence to the airport, so that's what parking lots or parking area is going to be necessary. So similarly, whenever the aircraft is going to be having a rest period, so the aircraft is also going to be a park. So that's what parking of both the vehicles and aircraft is going to be taken into account with respect to the parking and circulation area has been concerned. So as I am talking about the parking and circulation area, so since the airport users are normally arrive the airport, that's what I told you, that is in two-wheeler or cars or whatever the sort, that is in automobile. So easily they has to assess the road and we need to provide the parking facility. So it is going to be a vital importance with respect to airport design has been concerned. The circulation of a traffic and the location of a parking lot should be such that it should assess the terminal building is as convenient as possible. That means whenever we are going to be providing a parking lot, it should be very much adjacent to the terminal building, and also a walkable distance has to be get reduced. So it should be kept in mind that is the circulation of a traffic should be always convenient as far as possible. Assets of a roads are so planned to provide the pact of connectivity between the airport and the city. So it means that always the good accessible roads has to be provided with respect to the airport and the adjacent cities. One of the present disadvantage is that so the travel time in the air is going to be lesser, but when we travel on the ground transport, that is going to be having more time. So as far as possible this should be avoided, but some of the cities it is going to be already they are grown up and there is going to be no scope, so we need to keep it when we are going to be start constructing our site selection for a new airport, the lessons that we have been learned with respect to parking and circulation. Similarly, the circulation of a vehicular traffic within the terminal area is also be carefully planned because it is essential to categorize the vehicular traffic to provide the road network, so as and when it satisfies the specific need of each of the traffic category. So that's what the circulation of a vehicular traffic has to be kept in mind while we are going to be having the circulation area. So broadly speaking, the vehicles what we are been talking about is going to be consisting of a passenger vehicle, that is a passenger who is going to be using the network, then the visitor vehicles and in service personnel. So now the crews they are been using to park the vehicle. So we need to take care of all the three, that is a passenger they are been using, they come from any of the sorts of public transport or the by own vehicle or a taxi, so the visitors vehicles and also the service personnel. So all these three are going to be accountable while we designing the parking or parking spacing. So apart from that one, the whatever the parking area what we are been providing, it should be the closest to the terminal building entrance and should be provided very short time of a parking. So as I previously told you, the parking area planning and planning, so that could be very much easily carried out if you provide the parking lot to the terminal building very much and in a shorter distance. Sufficient space is going to be required because as it provides the space for the passenger car and also the adjacent entrance of a terminal building for alighting of a passenger without any congestion or a delay. So that's what the terminal building entry or the boarding should be having a wider gate and more space so that the passenger can alight from their vehicle and can board the plane very much easily. So that's what we require, sufficient space. Next is going to be the separate parking area is going to be required for the staff personnel, because they has to be made separate with respect to the other passengers or the visitor, so that there should not be any delay in carrying out the operation. So that's what with respect to the parking of the passenger vehicles or visitor vehicles has been concerned. So next, moving on to the parking and the circulation area. For most of the efficient airport vehicular circulation and parking, a few of the following points has to be concerned. First is going to be the ease of a passenger, both from the viewpoint of loading and unloading at the terminal building. So as I said, so whatever the luggage or the baggages they have been having it, so it should be easily loaded and unloaded based on the arrival and the departure timing. So that's what it has to have the ease in with respect to the passenger with respect to their loading has been concerned. One-way traffic is going to be preferable wherever it is going to be possible, and we need to have a minimum driveway intersection. Should not be have more intersection as it causes a delay. That's what the driveway should be always less number or minimum intersection has been concerned. Then adequate driveway width to permit the overtaking. So it should not be a narrow one. Always the driveway width should have overtaking. It means a minimum of 2 lane has to be provided with a sufficient width to cater the traffic has been concerned. Sufficiently and clearly defined parking and circulation route. So there should not be any haphazardous manner. So we should have sufficient spacing, and it has to be clearly defined the parking lot for a visitors or whatever the thing has been concerned. So apart from that one, the parking area should be well lighted so that the pedestrian and vehicle can be seen very much clearly, because as we know it is going to be around the clock. So we need to take care about all these factors. So next, when we talk about the parking and circulation area, for determination of a size and its type, so always we have to use the traffic survey, and it should be given how much traffic and types of vehicle category and parking time is to be calculated, or parking demand has to be calculated. But according to the FAA suggestion that size of a public parking facility should be based on 1.5 to 2 cars for each of the peak hour passengers. So and that is the space we need to have it as per as the parking lot has been concerned. Then the pattern of a parking is going to be decided by the shape and size of the parking area available. So it may be a circular or a angle or whatever the thing. Say for example, if you are having a circular area, we should go according to that one. Suppose if it is going to be, the area is going to be like this, so this much area we can use it. So or otherwise, if the space is going to be like this, so we can have the parking on along the side. So that is going to be the sage and the type we are going to be accommodating. So or otherwise we are going to be providing some angular parking. That is an idea with respect to parking and circulation has been concerned. So as I am explaining, so these are the different types of parking usually we are going to be adopting. Say for example, first one is going to be a 90 degree of a parking, and that is a right angle. So the vehicles are going to be entered and they are going to be stop their vehicle or park their vehicle at perpendicular to each other. So each is going to be having a width of 2.4 meter width, and maximum size is going to be 6.6 meter. So that is a longer vehicle can also be parked comfortably. So apart from that one, we can adopt some more types of a parking depending upon the what we say the parking load and demand has been concerned. Apart from that one, parking area is available. So we can adopt the angular parking. So this angle may going to be varied from 30, 45 degrees, 60 degrees and etc. So according to this one, it may be of a 45 degree. So each of the vehicles are once again parked at an angle of a 45 degrees. So that is one thing. So apart from that one, we can have a curb parking, that is going to be a parallel to a curb. So the vehicles are going to be getting parked in the parallel direction. So once again, this width is going to be a 6.6 meter. That is if it is going to be parked parallel to the curb. So the same width is going to be now 2.4 meters. So here the width is been shown, that is a 2.4 and 6.6. Suppose if it is going to be in the parallel it is going to be width, length is 6.6 and width is 2.4. That is going to be according to the types of basic types of a vehicular parking pattern we are been adopting. So next is going to be the access and circulation standard. So as we know that we have to give a very good access to the all the type of a vehicle and all the vehicle category which needs to be parked. So access means it is an important consideration in the planning of a parking lot. So it should be easily accessible. Time is a crucial factor for all the air passenger. Hence the parking lot should ensure a least possible delay during the entry and exit. It means the whatever the vehicle they are going to be parked should not cause any delay. Hence in this picture we can see that we are going to be having parking lot. In between we are going to be having a clear distance of 7.5 meter, so that the vehicles can be easily reversed or parked comfortably according to all the direction. So in this diagram PL means it is going to be a parking lot. So try to see that. So all these are going to be the parking lot. It is being provided in a perpendicular or a 90-degree parking. So next is going to be after parking area we should have some driveway and a driveway easel. So one-way driving, if you are going to be providing as a parking space, so the minimum width of a driveway should be 3.75 meters. So wherever we are going to be having a one-way, so it means that we have to go and we need to park, and then whenever going to be having, it should come out like this. So this is an row wise, that is an angular parking which is been provided, and if that is going to be the thing, so we should have, that is a one-way driveway is minimum 3.75 meter. Suppose if it is going to be a two-way, it means the vehicles are going to be coming over here and for the parking, and if they are going to be leaving, that's going to be a two-way system. So in that case we have to have minimum driveway width is going to be 6.25 meter. So all these are going to be once again depend upon the turnaround easel. It should be provided so that at the end it can easily move around and take the maneuvering for the parking has been concerned. So this is with respect to driveway standards has been concerned. So some of the base we are going to be usually planning. So according to that one, try to observe this figure. If he is going to be having two-way movement, so both up and direction, so this distance is going to be 2.5 meter instead of 2.4 as we seen for a parking space to open the door or whatever the format. So maximum length what we are going to be providing is going to be 5.5 meter for a spacing. So as it is going to be a two-way, we are going to be having two-way driveway is going to be minimum of a 7.5 meter width. So that is the width for the two-way parking, and that is the standard base has been concerned. So number of base or the occupancy rate depends upon how the vehicles or the peak hour traffic and the type of a flight we are been operating. It may be national or international or a cargo, so like that. So it is getting varied. So all that has to be taken into account when we are going to be designing for parking and circulation area. Next is going to be the maximum easel length. So in any of the case, the maximum easel length should not exceed 100 meter, so without any break in the circulation. So that is the thing we need to keep it in mind. So that is going to be the maximum one. So this will be enable a parker to easily park and find the parking space whenever we are going to be approaching to its capacity. Limitation on the maximum length is also going to discourage the speeding of the vehicle. Next is an easel width should be sufficient to allow the driver to couple of parking and unparking maneuvering in a single and convenient and smooth turnover. So that's what we need to provide, the minimum easel and the maximum easel length in the parking lot. So next is going to be the employees parking. So as I said it, parking is to be provided for both the passenger, visitors and the employees or the staff. So it is desirable to segregate the employees parking from that of the passenger, because they are normally having a long-term parking, and that is a duration is more as compared to the visitor. Hence a modular width has to be can be narrowed, because we can have number of vehicles to be parked, because it is not going to be having the load is going to be unloading, inloading, so that is not going to be done regular interval, that is a parking, hence it is going to be stationed for a longer duration, we can reduce width to some extent here for case of employees parking. So this should not be taken, whereas in case of the passenger or the visitor slotting. So this is with respect to employee parking, and next is a parking lot. So it depends upon a sufficient space. If it is not available, we can go for the vertical, that is called multi-storied car parking is to be provided. So based on the size and the shape of a parking lot, the best parking is always going to be the angular parking. So usually common type is going to be the parallel parking, that is a 180 degree parking, 30 degree, 45 degree angle, 60 degree angle parking, and a 90 degree or a right angle parking is going to be adopted. So these images already shown in the previous slide. So these are going to be the some more pattern of a layout for a parking area. So we can observe in the first thing, that is going to be having a width of 27.5 meter to 27.5 meters of width and length. So in this, if you are going to be having a minimum ASL is going to be for two way, it's a 6.25 meter and 6.25 meter, providing a 5 meters and 5 meters as a parking lot. So in that we are going to be accommodating the 33 cars. So similarly, if you are going to be having this type of pattern, adopting a minimum clear distance in the perpendicular and longitudinal distance, we can have 34 cars as going to be parked. So similarly, try to see depending upon this, there is a two-way of parking area or a parking lot. So if you are going to be done, so we can accommodate 32 cars. So here on one side it is going to be a right angle parking, here also right angle parking, here we can have some angular parking. So it is going to be a 26.5 meters etc. So we can park approximately 26 cars. So similarly, we are going to be having different pattern. So this is an angular type parking on both the side. So keeping central driveway is going to be some around 3.3 meters approximately. So another type is going to be on the edge, we are going to be having a perpendicular parking or right angular parking. So the center is once again a right angle parking. So that is another type. So one more type is going to be the angular parking, both the edges and also at the central bay. So that is a different pattern or a layout we have been adopting in the parking area. So all these are going to be accountable. It means whenever we are going to be talk about parking area, the size, dimension and load occupancy or the demand, it is going to be created at a peak hour, that has to be taken into account. So vehicle park parallel to the curb is always going to be the parallel parking. So if the vehicles are marked with the making an angle with the curb, such type of parking is going to be termed with the angular parking. So that is how we can see from the images here what I have been shown. This is a right angle parking and angular parking, or that is a curb parking. So in this curb parking we are going to be having a marking, so that we are going to be having a perfect space. Operation of a parking and unparking is going to be difficult in parallel parking, hence parking at 60 degree is going to be more practicable, but 45 degree of a parking yields the best result. Because of angle, easily it can be parked or unparked very much easily as compared to the others. However, right angle parking is going to be adapted only under an exceptional condition. So according to the site condition, we can provide the right angle parking as a area. At airport, we are going to be classifying the parking is if the vehicle is going to be parked less than 3 hours, they are going to be called as a short term parking. So usually 80% of the parking is going to be a short term, because maximum of 3 hours, that is if they come from their home to take away their neighbor, so or the loading of a cargo or whatever the thing, so it can rest to a maximum of 3 hours period. So it is accountable to 80%. So remaining 15 to 20% is going to be accumulation of a vehicle in the parking facility. So that is going to be only this 15 to 20% lot. There is always there is a changeover of the flow over the parking area. Hence we need to analyze the total composition of a parking with respect to short term parking also. So these are some of the other types of a parking. As I said, it's going to be off street parking. So minimum easel is going to be a 5 meter and clear way is going to be 4.5 meter. So it is once again the angular parking is to be provided with the length of 5 to 5.5 meter and width is going to be minimum 2.5 to 2.6 meter. Similarly, here also in the both the directions, if you are going to be providing, minimum easel is going to be of 5 meter from the end of a parking lot. So clear distance that is going to be from a marked line to the parking of on both sides should have clear of 7 meter. So that is the thing we have been adopting. Similarly, depending upon the type of angle and the number of occupancy rate, so this easel is going to be varied from minimum of 3.4 meter, 5 meters or maximum of 8.8 meter. So the width is going to be the fixed, so that is going to be 2.6 meters. So this is a conceptual site plan. It's going to be desirable to assess the parking easel with the arrangement has been concerned. So try to see that whenever we are going to be approaching from the main line, so we are going to be having a parking area, or in the approaching directions we are going to be giving. So on the both the side, the entry and the exit is going to be 7 meters of a width. So whatever the vehicle it is going to be come over here, so we are going to be having a parking lot, so they can park their vehicle here. So or otherwise they can move over here and they can park the vehicle here. So that's what we have been having it as far as the parking easel has been concerned. So it is going to be on the both the side, that is on the both the side we are going to be providing the signal intersection in order to stop and move the vehicles in the order. So that is the thing of this conceptual site planning. So that is with respect to the vehicular parking has been concerned. Moving on to the next type of a parking, that is with respect to aircraft parking. So aircraft can be parked in a different pattern in adjacent to the terminal building. There may be of a two types. So one is called a frontal system. So another one is going to be called a open apron system. So in the open apron system, we are going to be having a finger system and satellite system. So try to analyze what exactly these things. So we are going to be having a merit and a demerit with respect to each of the type when the aircraft is going to be parked. So first comes into picture with the frontal system. So that is going to be, frontal system is going to be the first category of the aircraft parking. So in this, aircrafts are going to be parked in front of the airport building. So whatever the parking we have been providing for an aircraft just front of an airport building is called a frontal one. So merit is going to be simple and economical. It's only suitable, the demerit is only suitable for smaller airport. Similarly, open apron system has been concerned, parked on an open apron in a row. So depending upon number of rows or a base, it is been provided in the apron. So in that one, if the aircrafts are going to be parked, that is going to be called as an open apron system. So merit is the area is going to be unavoidable. Therefore, the passenger may have to walk for a longer distance whenever it is going to be exposed to the weather condition. So it seems to be a very economic, that is the advantage has been concerned. Moving to the finger system, the aircrafts are going to be parked about the extension of a terminal building. The extensions are going to be shapes of a finger, hence the name is going to be the finger system. So merit is it provides a protection for the both the passenger, and further expansion is going to be the easier, but it is not going to be economical, that is the demerit. Next type is going to be the satellite type. So in this, a small building is going to be built on an apron to park around the base. These buildings are satellite to the main terminal building. Merit is going to be advantageous if the satellite buildings are linked through the underground channel. However, it is going to be involve huge construction cost. So coming to the geometrical design standard of an apron, we are going to be having a different geometries has been concerned. So minimum clearance between the two aircraft, it is been coded. So always it is not going to be more than 1%, slope is going to be provided. So based on the coding A, B, C, D, E, we are going to be having a clearance in the space with respect to If it is the code is going to be A, it is a 3 meter. Similarly, if it is going to be E, here it is going to be 7.5 meters. So this is a different pattern of a parking of an aircraft has been concerned. So if it is going to be a terminal building, that is going to be a frontal. So as I explained, whenever we are going to be having a terminal building, so exactly if you are going to park an aircraft in the front section, it's going to be a frontal one. So this is going to be the open apron. So in the apron we can provide the parking for an aircraft. So apart from that one, we are going to be having a satellite. So as I said, so apart from the terminal building, so if we are going to be providing small satellite over which the aircrafts are going to be parked, so that is called a satellite type. So depending upon the finger type, it may going to be having T type, then we are going to be having a straight type and V type. So these are all different types of pattern and parking we are been providing with respect to aircraft has been concerned. So that is a pattern of aircraft. So we can see in this image also, this is a apron type of a parking. So all the aircrafts are parked here systematically. So that is the image we can concern with respect to open or the frontal type. So that is an image with respect to aircraft parking. So that is an end of this session. To prepare this session, we had referred the standard textbook and the Wikipedia as the reference. Thank you.